So yeah, hello, good morning everyone. We are the reporter of Group 12, which we will report about the OSH Administration and Programming. And the members includes Joeric Bersalona, me, Clarissa Gaspay, Nico Reyes, and Jaime Vicente. But unfortunately, due to some circumstances, Jamie cannot participate in this session. So the topic of Jamie, I was the one who will report of his topic. And what is the topic to discuss? First topic is a policy framework, which is about the Labor Code of the Philippines and selected OSH provision. The second is for JORIC, Labor Standard Enforcement Framework, and also the development of occupational safety and health program. And the last is capacity building and monitoring on OSH. So the first topic is policy framework, which is the Labor Code of the Philippines and selected OSH provision. So before I proceed to explaining about that topic, we we need to identify first is what is a policy framework. So it is an overarching framework of policy development, approval, communication, and review is provided by a policy framework. The steps that must be taken at each stage of the policy life cycle are clearly laid out in an effective policy framework. Ano na siya? Framework. Just like kung para tayo gumawa ng framework, pero mga policy nga lang yung nakalagay doon. So, OSH system in the Philippines, OSH legislation. So, DOLE, ito yung pinaka-lead agency ng government na in charge sa administration and enforcement ng laws, policy, and programs sa mga occupational safety and health. So, dole may hawak nun. So, according to Presidential Decree number 442, Article 165, Labor Code of the Philippines. So, eto, Law PD 442. So, anong title? It is a Labor Code of the Philippines sa year 1974. So, what is the content? So, consolidation of labor and social legislation to provide complete labor protection, support, employment, and the development of human resources and preserve industrial peace. So, mga relevant provision is Book 4, Titles 1 and 2. So, agency nga niya is DOLE. So, here is the sample of OSH structural framework. Sample of policy framework. So, here at the uh, higher part is the Department of Labor and Employment, which is the policy regulation na sinundan ng Bureau of Working Condition, BWC, which is the policy formulation. Meron siyang dalawang category sa gilid, which is Occupational Safety and Health Center, which is yung OSHC, which it is about technical services, research, and also the training. And the other one is Employees Compensation Commission, which is ECC. Ito yung mga compensation or rehabilitation. Kaya, ganun. So, in the lower part, you can see here the Dole regional offices. Ito naman yung mga enforcement, implementation na meron sa Visayas Cluster, CAR and CR, CAR1 and CR2 and 3, and sa Visayas Cluster sa 5, 6, 7, And Mindanao cluster is, yeah, the last. So here is the labor code of the Philippines. It is planned as the AO, uh, law, law governing employment. Kulang lang siya ng L. That's why it sounds arf. Sorry. So, law governing employment practices and labor relation in the Philippines. It consists of 7 books and 317 articles. DOLE is mandated to enforce the provision of the labor code since this what I've said earlier, DOLE nga yung lead agency ng labor code ng Philippines. So, does serve as a policy coordination arm of the executive branch in the field of labor and employment. So, yan. So, ito nga yung Presidential Decree number 442 of 1974. It is enacted by President Ferdinand Marcos. It is a decree instituting the labor code that govern labor and social laws to promote protection of labor, employment, and human resource development and assurance of peace based on social justice. So, DOLE Department Advisory Number 1 in July 2015. DOLE renumbered and amended the labor code to suit on the modern time with the revision and the consolidation of the labor code. The updated edition does reflect all amendments, notes all repeals, and cross-references all superseded provisions with related laws and regulations. So here is the selected OSH provisions. So it can be found in a book 4 of the Labor Code on a chapter 2, article 162 and 165. So in article 162, it includes the safety and the health standards. So the Secretary of the Labor and Employment, Silvestre H. Bello III or the third, is responsible to mandate, enforce, ensure, and protect the rights of the people on labor and employment. So while here in the Article 163, this is the research, DOLE should conduct further research and studies in order to keep the labor code updated on present and future times. So, syempre, lahat nagbabago and just so the labor code. So in Article 164, training programs, DOLE should conduct further training programs in order to improve the skills, competence, and capacity on present and future times. So here in Article 165, Administration of Safety and Health Laws, DOLE is responsible to mandate, enforce, ensure, and protect the health and safety of the people on labor and the employment through the use of OSH program, which is OSHC. The Secretary of Labor and Employment may collect reasonable fees on the inspection of various equipment, machineries, and materials. However, the fund will be put solely on the OSH program in order to maximize its range and occupy a much larger number of Filipinos. So, next is the Labor Standards Enforcement Framework, which will be discussed by the next reporter.
Labor Standards Enforcement Framework or LSEF ay inorder to nung DOLE noong January 7, 2004 para maprotekta ng karapatan ng mga manggagawa kasi may mga instances na unfair yung treatment nila sa mga workers nila. For example, yung mga overwork, underpay, mga walang rest day. So, isa ito sa mga causes kung bakit nagkaroon ng LSEF or Labor Standard Enforcement Framework dito sa Pilipinas. So, ito yung mga examples ng labor standards. Working hours, minimum wage, mandatory benefits, holiday, rest days. So, ayun yung mga example ng labor standards na dapat nila sundin.
So good day po. I'm the reporter for topic number 3, Development of Occupational Safety and Health Program. Brief history. The Occupational Safety and Health Standards was formulated in 1978 in compliance with the constitutional mandate to safeguard the worker's social and economic well-being, as well as his physical safety and health. Adopted through the tested democratic machinery of tripartism, the 1978 Standards is considered as a landmark in the Philippine labor and social legislation. Joint efforts exerted by the Bureau of Working Conditions, the ILO Manila office, and the tripartite sectors bore fruit in August 1989, when the revisions were finally approved by the Secretary of Labor and Employment pursuant to his authority under Article 162 of the Labor Code of the Philippines. With the latest improvement in the standards, all establishments covered will now be provided with a better tool for promoting and maintaining a safe and conducive working environment. So, the development of OSH programs dates back from 1978. So, ngayon 2023 na din. Sobrang laki na nung improvement na nangyari unlike before. Then, next slide. RA 11058, an act strengthening compliance with occupational safety and health standards and providing penalties for violations thereof. The act provides for the state policy to ensure a safe and healthful workplace for all working people by affording them full protection against all hazards in the work environment. Naging batas yung pagkakaroon ng full protection gear para sa mga hazards na nandun sa inyo workplace. For example, tumbes, helmet, gloves, and shoes. Ayun yung mga some examples. Di naman lahat, pero some. And especially today, dahil din sa COVID, right? Sunod na yung pagsusuot ng face mask. The Philippine government estimates that 2.2 Filipino workers in medium and large enterprises enjoy effective occupational safety and health protection and services. In other words, 17 out of 18 persons in the nation's workforce of 38.8 million do not benefit from acceptable working conditions. Studies substan- substantiate that OSH conditions in microfirms and the informal sector pose risks and hazards. Dun sa table, makikita dito yung top 5 occupational safety and health policies or programs implemented in the Philippines year 2019. Basahin natin. Number of establishments with occupational safety and health. Number 1, policy on smoke-free workplace. Number 2, fire prevention and control program. Number 3, policy and program on anti-sexual harassment. 4, emergency preparedness and response program. 5, work accident prevention program. Nakikita dito na madami yung nagawa nilang programs nung taong 2019. So, 2023 na, so dapat most probably nag-improve pa yan and mas na-develop yung mga programs and policies na meron sila. Next slide.
Yeah. Hi again. This is Clarissa Argaspay again. We will be reporting about the capacity building and monitoring on OSH. So, in capacity building and monitoring on OSH, we have capacity building. We will explain that, and we will also explain the public-private partnership, which is PPP for short, Center of the Philippines, and monitoring on OSH. So, in capacity building, ito yung process ng pagde-develop and pagpapatatag ng mga skills, instincts, abilities, processes, and resources sa mga organization and community na kailangan makasurvive or maka-adapt and also thrive in a fast-changing world since sabi ko nga kanina, nothing is permanent in this world but change, 'di ba? So, lahat nagbabago. So, ganun din sa mga organization and communities. Kailangan nilang maka-adapt, kailangan maging matibay ng mga instinct nila, abilities nila para ma-adapt yung mga pagbabago. So in public-private partnership, PPP Center of the Philippines, it is sole duty to provide capacity building programs throughout the nation based on every region's noticeable strength to promote and produce a much more skilled Filipino citizen. According to Honorable Carl Kendrick T. Chua, Ah, siya yung chairperson ng PTP Center. So, in Executive Order number 8 signed by President Benigno Aquino III, it is an order to establish public-private partnership Center of the Philippines and once again amended on his order Order number 136, which states that PPP Center is under control by DTI and NEDA. So, in monitoring on OSH, due to the pandemic ng nakaraan, the DTI and DOLE learned up to form an interim guideline that is monitored by the IATF in order to continue the progress of the labor and employment while securing and protecting the Filipino citizens from the danger of the deadly virus. So that's all. Thank you.